Good afternoon, Facebook. So, I found some fascinating news. I decided to call the probate court and see if my mother's will and testament was actually put, because I know that she made it in San Bernardino County. I know for a fact she made it in San Bernardino County because she and I talked about where she got her will done and notarized. However, there's no records of a will. However, there is records of a will for Jacqueline, spelled improperly. Now, my perpetrators like to spell my name incorrectly. They like to spell it Line, but my name has always been spelled Lyn. That's on my birth certificate, my driver's license, my identification card, my passport. So what they did was they obviously had somebody in the system forge the signature to change my name from Lyn to Line so that I couldn't find it. And the last name Harrington is not in there. So they put me married off to somebody. Now, when I looked up public records for my specific name, my first, my middle, my last spelled correctly, there's over 66 people. If I spell it incorrectly, there's over 69 people. So that makes me wonder. And then there's also different names, but they have it. So they made false identification cards and then they changed the social securities as well. They kept it the same. But what they did was they made the false identification cards pertaining to the people that would use the copycat identification of me and put the name, put the age of the person that they are. Because I saw somebody 100 years old, 69, 73, 51, all different types of ages with both the fake name with the Line and my actual spelling. So that's over 135 people that have changed their names. Now with mine, it says one of my relatives is Kimberly J. Lunsford. So Kimberly was married to my brother, Kimberly Harrington. I know when they divorced, but now her last name is Lunsford. I'm not sure if she's still alive or not. She kind of just let my brother do anything. So I'm assuming that she's still alive, especially because I believe she messed with my information in New York a couple months ago. Aside from the fact that there's over 350 wills in the Harrington last name in New York alone, which makes sense, but I made another report talking about how that's how much inheritance was in wills that were never claimed. And when I looked up public records, a lot of Harringtons versus law enforcement here were harassed for exactly the same thing as targeted individuals like myself are harassed for larceny, they claim, for vehicle theft, for murder, for mental instability, violence in public. I did a little bit of research. So this is a very organized, this is the shadow government. Let's put it that way. This is the shadow government. This is how they make their money. The whole $1 trillion in debt is a BS lie because the only reason that we're in debt is because the people that we have taken care of our, our revenue of not just the city, the state, but the entire country are crooked. You wanted a business person, Donald Trump, in office, and he, instead of like Obama, which actually started to lower the deficit, Trump has increased it. And not just that, crime has increased. And yet pricing keeps going higher and higher, and the wages for living are not in accordance with what a business would be able to use to be profitable. So, what does that tell you about the way that our capitalistic and the shadow government underneath our original broken system is functioning? It's not. And that is why we need to hold the people accountable who are in areas of office. For example, they forged all these signatures. They paid somebody to forge it, or they didn't even have to pay them. They were like, hey, by the way, this person's a horrible person, even though they're lying about all of these people, including myself. Can you just do this for me? Or, hey, I'll let you hit it if you know, change this for me, and then I'll give you some money on the side or some drugs if that's what you want. This is what they do. It's funny, the bargaining system seems to work so well, but not in the way that we need in this society right now. Just a fun fact, it's December 26, 2025. I just wanted to let all my targeted individual family know that this is how they go after us. We do have inheritance. We are utilized as experimentation purposes, for experimentation purposes by the government, by people in psychology. Let's go back to talking about Russia, how Russia closed off the entire country back in the day. I don't remember, 1970s or something, maybe. I can't recall. And they had created in psychology any person that was rambunctious or difficult at work, that argued too much or something, was classified mentally unstable. And this is how they conformed everybody to stop talking and keep compliance in the population by claiming mental illness to discredit them. So Russia did that with psychology. We have that in history. This is not even 30 years. No, this is over 30 years. And we keep on repeating the same history every 30 years. 20 to 30 years, we repeat the same history. It may not be in the same country, but it definitely is the same situation. And then we notice how we don't even educate our people about these things. And it's not just us, it's every country. Let's talk about China. China had an uprising in the early 2000s. Even college students in China still don't know about the uprising because it is that censored. The government doesn't want them to know that there was an uprising, that people were upset. Let's talk about the treaty that just recently ended, the 128-year treaty with Hong Kong. And there was a mass protest in airports and everything in Hong Kong. There were over 1 million people protesting, and I have such respect for that because they banded together for that. I have no idea what the outcome is because we're censoring that. Why would Trump want us to unite like Hong Kong did when they went back from being democratic or a democratic republic to communist again, which they outright did not want. But because of the treaty ending, the people didn't have a say. Why is that? The people are the mass. Why do they not have a say? Targeted individuals, we may not be the mass majority, but we also are being abused like the masses in a different way. Why don't we have a say either? I just wanted to bring that up. I love you. God bless. Take care of yourselves. I hope you guys use this information that I am giving and look into your own cases, look into your own probate courts, look and ask questions like, oh, is this your name? Because my name's not in there. My mother's will or my grandmother's will and testament, her name's not in there, even though I know for a fact that she made a will there. So they confiscated it, lied about it. And then all of a sudden I have a will and testament in my name or public records. And the lady didn't want to tell me the last name. So I'm going to call back in an hour and ask because it makes no sense, Anyway, just food for thought.